trained lawyer, I know that we're all looking to find a job once we qualify as a lawyer. And it makes sense, right? After doing this entire process, you want to make money and you want to have the life that you have desired to. But at the same time, when you're looking for work, it's also important to understand what is it that you're looking for in an employer. Because your first job is where you're going to be learning the most, and it's a place where you will actually evolve in your career. Not to say that you're not going to evolve at other places, but because this is your first job, you need to have that space to grow and learn. And I want to share 3 things that you should consider when you're looking for an employer in Toronto. And just try to think about them and have them at the back of your mind when you're looking for work. First thing that you want to look at is how much experience are you going to get at this firm? And when I say experience, what I'm really trying to say is that are you getting the experience that you need as a lawyer? Some firms will hire you, but will ask you to do the work behind the scenes, and you have no contact with the client, or you have no contact with what's going on, what is the bigger picture, why are you doing this work? So let me give you an example. I practice Canadian immigration law, and when I started working at the firm that I'm at, I had full control over my files. I speak to the client directly, I'm emailing the clients directly, I am doing all the work for them. So the kind of experience that I was getting was, direct communication with the client, understanding what type of work I'm doing. So I'm involved in the strategy too. If someone comes to me and they want to come to Canada, I'm involved in making that strategy. What are we doing for this client? As opposed to someone just handing me a file and being like, do this for the client. So from start to finish, I am involved, and that is good experience. So when you are looking for that first year job, you want to think about, what experience am I getting? Will I be involved in speaking with the client? Will I be involved in the strategy? Can I speak to the client? Can I have a consultation with the client directly? Or am I just going to be that person that is going to be handed a file from like 5 other senior people, and I'm going to be given a deadline and this is all I'm doing? Well, I'm not saying that that's bad. Like I said in one of my previous videos, any experience is good experience. You want to experience that, and then you may be able to get to the next step. But keep in mind, just don't be blindsided to this. If you are only getting limited experience, you should at least be aware of it so that you can ask for more. So that's what I would suggest, is that make sure that the experience you're getting is something that is valuable. And to be honest with you, having worked now for over 3 years, I feel that working directly with the client is the most important skill that the lawyer must have, because you're dealing with clients directly. How do you deal with a bad situation? How do you deal with a good situation? How do you deal in a situation where you have no idea what to do? These are all learning experiences. And if a firm is not giving you that, which is fine, but just be aware that that's something that will really help you develop the skills needed to be a professional. Second thing that you want to look at is making sure that you have the mentorship that you need. I have spoken to so many of my friends, people that I have worked with, or actually not worked with, people that I was in school with, and then during the law practice program, that there is no one to help them out. They don't know what they're doing, and nobody's willing to train them. And that is a big issue, in my opinion, because proper training is extremely important. When you become a lawyer in Canada, there are rules of professional conduct, meaning lawyers have to abide by certain rules. And one of the rules is that you must be competent in the area that you're practicing or competent in the file that you're taking. If you have no mentorship and you don't know what you're doing, you are not competent. So you should have someone that is able to guide you and assist you. Now, there's a difference between guiding, assisting, and then just having someone do the work for you. So having the ability to learn things and figure it out on your own is something that you should have. Nobody's going to tell you each and everything. They're not going to tell you how to click something or how to, do basic things. That's something that you need to figure out on your own. If you don't know something, you should be able to research it. But having somebody to ask questions, having somebody to run things by is very, very important. So when you are looking for that first job, you want to ask, how much mentorship can I expect to get? Of course, you should be able to, like I said, certain people or certain professionals expect that the other person will help them or do the work for them. That's not what I'm trying to say here. What I'm trying to say is that, having the guidance is important because, again, you're new, you don't know what you're doing. And especially as a lawyer, you are dealing with people's lives, whatever area of law that you practice. So make sure that you have that mentorship. The last thing that you want to consider when you're looking for work in Toronto is, do you have opportunities to grow at the place that you're in? No one wants to stay in the same position, same salary, same setup for many years. When you become a lawyer, again, you have certain goals or you want to do certain things. You have to consider, well, is there a growth opportunity at the place that I'm working at? Just giving you an example, at bigger firms, if someone wants to be like, I would like to become a partner at a firm, and if you work at a bigger Bay Street firm, is it possible for you to become a partner there? Because it is quite difficult. So is that firm right for you? You should be asking that. If your goal is not to become a partner, and if your goal is, well, I want to learn and then I want to grow here and have my own clients, is that something that an employer is willing to work with you on? Or I don't know what your goals are, but I'm just kind of making this up, just kind of based on what people have told me in the past or what I think. If, for example, your goal is, if you want to grow in a way that you have flexible working hours and you want to have a family, you want to have kids, or you want to make sure that you have time to give to your family, is the firm that you're working at, do you think that you can grow in that aspect? Is what you should be considering. So when you are looking for this first year associate job, I know that it's so important at the time to just get the job, which I completely understand. And I did that too. And I can understand why people do that. But it's important to just question these things. At the back of your mind, just kind of note them and see, can you look at these things? Can you ask these things from an employer? But nothing, if there's a need for you to make money, then at that time, of course, you take what you get. And then you figure these things out later. I'm not denying that at all. But what I'm only trying to say is that think of it. Think of these things. There's nothing wrong to have these things at the back of your mind. And certainly something that I wish I had thought a little bit more about. And just having that mindset, I feel like, is important.